What's up, guys? Got to react to this trade. Two big trades happened today. This one, Sabonis, and a couple other players for uh, Buddy Hield, Tyrese Haliburton, and Tristan Thompson. But then also the CJ McCollum trade, and I chose to make a big video on the CJ thing and just go live here for the Sabonis for Tyrese Haliburton trade. And so, in terms of grades, honestly, I give them both, I guess, a B minus. Neither team is very good. If Tyrese Halliburton was as good as everyone's acting like he is, then why are the Kings just a god awful mess? Tyrese Halliburton's a very good player. He's efficient. He shoots very well in the mid range. He's a good shot creator. He's great passing the ball, creating assists, but he's not a great defender. Um, he's not sniffing like an all star, right? And so all these people saying that the Kings definitely lost this trade. Look, they traded a young 22-year-old promising point guard and Buddy Hield, who's overpaid, for a two-time All-Star, right? And so, I'm not going to fault them for that. It's very rare that a two-time All-Star is available like that. One that comes to mind is last year with Nikola Vucevic. A lot of people said that the Bulls overpaid for Vucevic. And honestly, the way he's been playing lately, the book is out on that. So maybe they did. But all of this reaction saying that the Kings definitely lost this trade, I just disagree with that. What the Kings are doing clearly is trying to win now. They don't want to rebuild. And it's the same thing with the Pacers. I'm a big fan when these teams don't do what the Oklahoma City Thunder are doing right now. Like, I know it's fun to watch a few OKC games, but they're not a team that I watch consistently because they're not competitive, right? It's fun to see some of the young guys how they're progressing. It's fun to watch Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, but I'm a fan of teams going forward and not doing a true tear it all down rebuild. And that's the approach here with the Kings and with the Pacers. So I'm not going to fault them for that. And so, yeah, look, if you're the Kings, you've got three players in your backcourt who you think are good: Davion Mitchell, Tyrese Haliburton, and De'Aaron Fox. And you ask the Pacers, who will you take? We don't know if they said we're only taking Tyrese. We will not take De'Aaron Fox, and we definitely won't take Davion Mitchell. And so, if the Kings are on the phone and the Pacers are saying we will only take a package around Tyrese Haliburton, do you want to have our two-time All-Star who fits in the front court with your young max player De'Aaron Fox or not? Do you want him or not? And they say, okay, fine, we'll let you have Tyrese. I'm not going to fault them for that. And so, when I think about Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox's fit, it's okay. It's good that their two best players play on different sides of the court. One is in the front court, all-star Domantas Sabonis. One is in the backcourt. I like that balance. I don't think that Sabonis is the perfect fit for De'Aaron Fox. If you think about Sabonis's play style, I like that he can stretch the floor some. He's not like this elite floor stretcher. He's not an elite three-point shooter. Miles Turner is better. But I don't like that he's not great at setting picks. You think about the type of point guard that De'Aaron Fox is, that roll downhill, attack the rim, athletic type guy, like John Morant, like Russell Westbrook, sort of, or De'Aaron Fox. Like, those guys need a real good pick and roll partner. You know what I mean? Like a big burly center who can really get in there and set a strong pick. Domantas Sabonis isn't that kind of guy. He's more finesse. He's good passing in the high post. Obviously, he's a good scorer. And so I'm not saying that they're perfect, but anytime you can get an all-star center, then you go for it. I think there are more moves coming from the Kings. I think that they're probably definitely going to get rid of Rashawn Holmes, and he's just not a good fit with Sabonis in the front court. If you think about Rashawn Holmes, he's definitely an old school type center. He's everything that Miles Turner is not. And so, where does Rashawn Holmes go? That's my next question. If I'm a Hornets fan, I get real excited about maybe adding a Rashawn Holmes, who is a big upgrade over Mason Plumlee. And the guy that I would trade if I was the Hornets would be PJ Washington. And so, that's maybe the next trade that we might see here from the Kings. But look, you look at the Kings roster, they got rid of Buddy Hield. and they've got Sabonis. They've got Davion Mitchell, who I think now with even more minutes and a more solid role will up their defense. Hopefully, you've got De'Aaron Fox. I don't know what they're going to do with Marvin Bagley, but the Pacers, I love their roster now. Maybe we will not see a Miles Turner trade. You've got Miles Turner, you've got Chris Duarte and Tyrese Haliburton in the backcourt. Who else do you have on that team? I could look it up. I mean, in terms of like their core guys. They got rid of Karis LeVert, obviously. Malcolm Brogdon, he's obviously more than solid. You've got TJ McConnell. All those guys can shoot. Duarte, Brogdon, Haliburton, TJ McConnell, and so can Tyrese Haliburton. So they've got shooters. They've got a big defensive center in the front court with Miles Turner. And so, both of these teams were going nowhere. Both of these teams were lottery teams. Do I think swapping a couple of players from these two lottery teams is really going to do anything? No. I mean, people are getting all worked up about this trade. Like, is there going to be some big difference made here? No. Are there more trades that are going to come down the line? Yes. So the picture isn't over. So all these people giving the Pacers an A and the Kings an F, the trade's not over. And again, if you have 3 good players in your backcourt, it makes sense to get rid of at least one of them, right? It hurts that it wasn't Davion Mitchell. You'd rather keep Tyrese and De'Aaron Fox. But if you have to give up Tyrese to get an all-star, a 2-time all-star, those are very rarely on the trade market. And normally when all-stars are traded, guys, they end up having to give up like a bunch of good players and 8 different draft picks, right? But in this one, they just gave up these 3 players and they get a 2-time all-star. I think that's pretty good. You want to give them an F? I'm not giving an F. I'm just not. But I'm of course interested to see what it looks like. All right, what do you guys have? So anyway, that's my little thing there. Those are my trade grades and my trade reaction. Let's see. Hey Casey, do you think? I want to address one thing. Yesterday, I said that CJ McCollum was overpaid, and that then today I said that he's not overpaid. And that is a big discrepancy. 2 things. I had to look at it, and, his contract isn't as bad for the amount of years that are left. And also, CJ McCollum's deal is awful on the Blazers because they're paying other guys. They're paying Nurkic. They're paying Damian Lillard. But when you move CJ's salary to the Pelicans and you still have your best player, Zion Williamson, on his rookie contract, it doesn't hurt as much. And I probably should have clarified that in today's video, but instead I just said he's not overpaid. And that caused a lot of different comments in the comments section, rightfully calling me out because I did say 2 different things, but I probably should have been a little bit more nuanced on that and explained my position further. I'm sorry about that. Okay, guys, what do you have? What's the whole trade package with picks and players? Let's see. It is Tyrese Haliburton, Buddy Hield, Tristan Thompson for Domantas Sabonis, Jeremy Lamb, and Justin Holiday. That's it. Do you think Portland can trade Nurkic at the deadline? Yes, I do. I do. And in fact, crazy climax. I think that because Nurkic is a free agent this offseason, they're definitely going to trade him. That's what I think. Omer Yurtseven and Morris for PJ Washington. No, Markieff is injured, and I don't think that you would get PJ Washington for Omer Yurtseven, even though he's a good up-and-coming center, and they do need centers. So, Nick, I don't hate it, but my gut instinct is no. I would rather tank with Tyrese than get to play in with Sabonis. That's a good point. I think that the Pacers should do all they can to win as few games as possible because the Pacers 2022 draft pick. Can you imagine if the Pacers got a little lucky in the lottery and got a top 5 pick to add to this core? I think that would be fun. Should the Kings trade De'Aaron Fox? They're not going to trade De'Aaron Fox now, Ian. I think it's pretty clear with this move, we have learned what the Kings' mindset is. And a lot of us were thinking, gosh, you guys should rebuild. You haven't been to the playoffs in 16 years. What are you doing? But they're not going to rebuild. That's not how they're thinking. So that is a cool thing about this trade. We get into the mindset of the Kings front office. What do you think of Pascal? Is he snubbed? Is he better than Bridges? I love Pascal Siakam. He has been playing so well. Yesterday's game against the Hornets, he was a star, and so was Fred VanVleet, and so was OG Anunoby. And so, who cares if Pascal did or did not make the All-Star game? They're going to make the playoffs, and that's what really matters, honestly, is this team started off slow. They're getting better, and I cannot wait to see them in the postseason. What are the Wizards going to do now with Beal out for the rest of the season? That's a good point, dude. Actually, Silverbolt Studios, the answer to your question lies with Bradley Beal himself. Beal can sign a 5-year, $240-something million supermax with the Wizards. And Beal can sign it at any time. It is sitting there on the table with a pin next to it, waiting for him to sign for $250 million. And he's not signing it, which is crazy. Any of us would sign it in a heartbeat. And so what are they going to do with Beal? I don't know, dude. Is he going to sign that extension or not? Because if he's not, they got to trade him. But first, we have to find out what he's going to do. Is Cade Cunningham a Hall of Famer? What? No. He's a rookie, dude. What's the best trade for the Nets? Brother, I don't know. The Nets. I would say the only real rumor out there is the Ben Simmons thing. Dude, when you honestly for the Nets, when you have so much of your cap space taken up by 3 guys, there aren't much moves that you can make. You know what I'm saying? The only thing they could do is trade Nick Claxton. But the fact is that Nick Claxton makes so little money that whatever you get back for him, that guy would make very little money. So who are you going to get to replace Nick Claxton on that kind of a small salary who's going to make a big difference, Merk Nowitzki with a super chat. To be a good YouTuber, I should be asking for super chats, right? And I'm not. So super chats. Thank you. Maybe Buddy gets rerouted somewhere else. Yes, Nowitzki, you're so right. He's got how many more years does he have on his deal? You're so right. Nowitzki, that's a great point, dude. Buddy Hield getting rerouted somewhere, I think, is a very strong possibility. Also, Mavs predictions. I want them to make a decent move, but not sure if they will. Keep up your great videos. Thank you so much, man. Dude, the Mavs are such a funny team, aren't they? Because you've got a bad contract that you signed in Tim Hardaway Jr. Not good. You've got 2 guys who could be free agents in Dorian Finney-Smith and Jalen Brunson. And here's the problem. If you sign DFS and Jalen Brunson, then you lock yourselves in to a core that we're not sure if they can really compete for a title, right? But at the same time, DFS and Jalen Brunson are both so good. So you don't want to let them go. So what do? And the thing is, you can't trade Jalen Brunson right now because Jalen Brunson makes like $1.9 million. Who are you going to get for that? Who's going to be as good or better than Jalen Brunson? No one. They're in a really weird spot right now. I think that, honestly, what are the Mavs going to do? Nothing. They're not going to do anything. They can't do anything. Unless you have an idea, Nowitzki, let me know. I don't know. Wesley Stone, appreciate your contents. I like your analysis. Thank you so much, dude. I really appreciate that, man. All right. Nurkic to the Hornets before the deadline. It could happen. Do you think Russ will be traded at the deadline? I do not. No. Have you seen the rumors about the Lakers, guys? The rumors about Gyro Rivas. Cody Zeller video? You're right. I should do a short. I will do a short. So the Lakers rumors are that THT, Kendrick Nunn are both on the trade block. Who are they going to get for that? What do the Lakers need? They need shooting. They need defense. I don't know, man. If you could find somebody, then that's great. Real and caring question. Are you dyslexic? Videos have typos, including your subscribe insert. You're right, Romaine. I'm not dyslexic. I have a video editor, and he made that subscribe insert. So, he's from North Macedonia. So I think English is not his first language, and that's my bad for not fixing that because I was actually aware of that. Do you think the Pacers will trade Brogdon? No. KMP. If they do trade Brogdon, buddy, it'll be during the summer because Malcolm Brogdon's contract is such that he can't be traded until the offseason. So they're keeping Brogdon for now, man. Jeremy Grant to Utah, Raheem Reynolds. You tell me, who are they going to trade to Detroit for Jeremy Grant? If you're Troy Weaver, the guy who runs the Pistons front office, what do you accept on Utah? Now, yesterday I came up with a 3-team deal where Utah sent out Jordan Clarkson. And so who's going to accept Jordan Clarkson? Maybe Jordan Clarkson actually not been that great this season. What are the Hawks going to do? Well, Zaki Khan, my question about the Hawks is what do they need? The Hawks need defense. The Hawks need someone in the backcourt with Trae Young. Would the Celtics be interested in trading Marcus Smart plus some other pieces and a draft pick for John Collins? I think that would be good for both sides. I think that the Hawks would very much use a guy like Marcus Smart, very defensive oriented, a lot of heart, obviously, but he can shoot threes to be in that backcourt with Trae. I don't know what else would make it worth the Hawks' while, though. That's my question. But what if John Collins was on the Celtics? I think I like that. The only real possibility is something with the traded player exception. How big is that TPE, by the way, Nowitzki? And then the other thing is, dude, what are they going to do to sweeten the pot? What would you put in there to sweeten that pot? Wait, is Domantas really traded? Yeah, dude. Do you think the Warriors will make a move at the deadline? Whew, that's tough, man. A lot of the people in AM Hoops Plus were talking about Miles Turner to the Warriors. You know why they were talking about that? There was a rumor that said the Raptors were cooking up a deal for Goran Dragic and a first. That makes no sense. Goran Dragic and a first, that's all it takes to get Miles Turner? If that's the case, the Warriors should be in on this. Who would they trade? Kevon Looney. That would be the cat filler. Plus, I don't know who else. But then also they would have to throw in a first-round pick. If that's all it takes to get Miles Turner, I am all in for the Warriors. Goran Dragic and a first, that's it? Dude, the Warriors should be on the phone right now. So should the Lakers, but forget it. They don't know. Casey, what's your thoughts on your beloved James Borrego? Do you think he's on the brink of losing his job in Charlotte? No. Do you think the Grizzlies make any moves? No, I don't, Martavius, because, I mean, you don't want to rock the boat with what they have, right? And it's like sometimes I feel like teams, when they beat expectations, it's like a feel-good party around the team, right? But then that becomes the expectation, and then things get sour. You know what I mean? Like, remember when Luka busted out 2 years ago? Every Mavs game was like a party, you know, and we were all having so much, oh my God, look at this team. And then now it's like, well, what are they going to do? You know, what's going on? When are the Mavericks going to break through? And who are they going to trade for and all this stuff? I feel like the Memphis Grizzlies are still in that honeymoon phase. I think that like Trae, that's once the expectation has been set and then they can break through it. Right now, the expectation is just starting. So, all right, what do we got? Miles Turner to Golden State. I like that. Yeah, hell yeah. Is Blazers pick for this year theirs? Because I think it's traded to Houston. If it's not theirs, it makes no sense to tank, says Nikola. So that's a good point. The Blazers did send their 2022 pick to the Houston Rockets, but that pick is lottery protected, which means if it falls 1 through 14, the Blazers get to keep their own pick. So if the Blazers, and that was, by the way, a huge crux to my video today, was that the Blazers should tank so that they can get a high draft pick and then use that high draft pick as part of a trade package to get an all-star back, to have an all-star with Dame, right? So because it's lottery protected, they should definitely tank. That's the only way they can keep their own pick. So if their pick falls 1 through 14, the Blazers keep their own 2022 pick. So I should have also clarified that in today's video. Today's video I was making very quickly. So, okay. What are the Knicks going to do with Randall? Damn it. It's a great question, buzzer beater. What are the Knicks going to do with Julius Randle? Well, first you'd have to find a trade partner for Randall. And then you'd have to figure out what the Knicks need for Randall. They need scoring, even though RJ Barrett's been good. Obviously, Tibbs likes defense. If you have any ideas of who they could get back, I mean, who really is just salivating for Julius Randle and what he brings to your team? That's my question. Miles Turner should not be traded, says Matthew. Since Sabonis is out, he has more potential to unleash his talent. I totally agree. I don't think they are going to trade Miles Turner. I don't. Lonzo Ball should have been an all-star. Stats better than Draymond. Disagree. Hey, Casey, who do you think the Raptors should get for Dragic? I think they'll get a second-round pick for Dragic. Casey, you think they'll trade Malcolm Brogdon, TJ Warren, and Miles Turner, which would result in the massive roster change for the Pacers, says Castro. Here's one thing about the Pacers, buddy. They do not want to tank. They have an owner named Herb Simon. I'm going to read you a quote by this man because this quote says it all, dude. All right, what he said is, am I going to be able to find it, or is this just a total waste of our live? Yeah, I don't know. Herb. So, here it is, buddy. I don't want. So you're asking me if they're going to trade Miles Turner, TJ Warren, and Malcolm Brogdon. Here's a quote from the team owner. I don't want to rebuild. If I don't want to see it, the fans don't want to see it. Why would we go through a rebuild when we can build on the go? That's the talent we're looking for. So this guy doesn't believe in trading all of your good players. So do I think they're going to trade all those guys you just mentioned? No. This guy, Herb Simon, is just not going to do that as long as he's the owner. They will not do a intentional lose. They won't. All right. My man Shane says, Shane, you didn't have to do that. You could have just asked a question, buddy. Chicago Bulls, possible targets, or do they sit put and wait for guys to come off injuries? Yeah, dude, I don't think they're going to trade anyone because the latest report I said was that they did not want to deal Patrick Williams. If they want to deal Patrick Williams, then for like a Jeremy Grant, then, dude, that's their best trade asset. Honestly, their second best trade asset to me is Kobe White. Do you trade Kobe White? Is what he does redundant, or do you really kind of need his three-point shooting? I mean, I know that Zach LaVine shoots threes, but he likes the mid-range, and we know that DeMar DeRozan, that's all he does. So is Kobe White actually sneaky more valuable than you thought to this Bulls offense? You know what I mean? Like, when they're all healthy, to your point, they're in a pretty good spot. So if you're Arturas Karnisovas, do you say, you know what? I am not going to rest on my laurels. We have a window here. I'm going to go hard at this and trade a Kobe White or a Patrick Williams. Or do you say, actually, we've made a bunch of big trades here recently. We did the sign and trade to get DeRozan. We got Nikola Vucevic. We traded for, we signed Lonzo Ball and we signed Alex Caruso. I mean, he's done a lot, right? So, no, I see him looking at them when they were healthy and saying, I'm banking on that. That's what I see. Buzzer beater. Whoa. I'm a depressed Kings fan, but more than usual. Wow, that's saying something, buddy. Okay, what else do we got? Where should Dame go? I think Dame's going to put, man. I think if you watch my video today, I think that the Blazers are planning for an aggressive build around Damian Lillard. They're going to potentially free up $60 million in cap space. They're going to have assets to trade. I think that they're going to go after, God, who could they go after? This sounds stupid. James Harden? I don't know, dude. It's like when you go and look, I put a list in today's video of all the people they could go after. None of them look, amazing, but who knows? What do you think about the Heat? The Heat are a weird team, aren't they? They're very clearly talented. They're very deep. They've got a lot of different pieces that do things at an above average level, but I just don't think the Heat have that top 5 player that you look for to win a championship. So I think the Heat are like a Eastern Conference team. Aaron says, hey, Casey, love the content. Thanks, Aaron. Do you think Josh Hart is going to get flipped to a contender? I do. I think that Josh Hart's going to get flipped whenever they try to get a all-star to trade to pair with Brad or Dame. Hey Casey, I'm a Blazers fan. This trade for the Blazers is good for cap space and for the future. So the Blazers might get someone with their yes, they will, dude. Hey Casey, what do you use to make trades? I use Fanspo, aka TradeNBA.com. It's great. Hey Casey, love the vids. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Dara. What would you do if you were the Hornets at the deadline? Well, I would trade for Richaun Holmes because I think Richaun Holmes is going to be out there and available. And it looks to me like Miles Turner might be staying in Indy because they got rid of Sabonis. And we've been talking about them breaking up that pair for a long time, Sabonis or Turner. Looks like they're keeping Turner. And, you know, in terms of centers that are out there and available, I think Richaun Holmes is really underrated. He doesn't get talked about because he is on the Kings. And there are other players on that team to talk about. I would go get Richaun Holmes. And I would trade PJ Washington for him. Rahul, both Randall and Tobias contracts are untradeable. Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. You know who's untradeable is Russell Westbrook, and so is John Wall. Randall and Tobias are a step above that, I think. What are the Knicks going to do? Nothing good. No trading Miles Bridges. No, don't trade Miles Bridges. What are you talking about? Hey, Casey, love the Oh, yeah, Aaron already said that. Gabe says, I'm going to keep posting till I get a response, lol. Hey, Casey, you promised us Raps fans a 12 seed, and we only got half of that. Season's not over, buddy. Hey, Casey, do you think Tyler Hero or Ant-Man got snubbed from the All-Star game? Well, you've got a case for Tyler Hero, but not Anthony Edwards. Clearly a bot. Says Blazers 22 first-round pick is to the Bulls. That's what I meant, brother. Sorry, I didn't mean Houston. I misspoke. But it is still top 14 protected. That's a smart bot. Make the Clippers something else. Don't know what that means. Are the Pels stronger than before, defense and all? No, of course not. No. But overall, yeah. I mean, you know what, dude? It all depends on what Zion looks like when he gets back. Do guys get better when they don't play for a year because of injury, even though maybe they're older? And, you know, I mean, Zion was such a beast on defense at Duke. It makes you wonder if we're ever going to see that in the NBA. So, hey, Casey, what would you do as the Celtics at the deadline? And do you think Boston can sign Beal? No. Josiah, here's my thing, buddy. Who is on the trading block for the Celtics? You've got definitely Dennis Schroeder. Is Marcus Smart on the trade block or not? I don't know. Ime Udoka has gone down to an 8-man rotation now, meaning he's just done with these young guys who suck. He's done with Aaron Nesmith. He's done with Romeo Langford, all these guys. And so, you know, it's kind of like if it's just Dennis Schroeder that you're trading, there's not much you can do with him. And by the way, the Celtics are trying to get under the luxury tax line. And so they need to trade away at least $3 million. Whatever the Celtics trade away, they need to get back salary that is worth $3 million less than what they trade away. And so I just wouldn't be very excited about what we're going to see here. All right. So Buzzer Beater says, what about power forward Harrison Barnes? Damn it. He's going to get traded too. My friend Nowitzki says, the Mavs trade player exceptions for about $11 million. I'm not sure who could work. Wow, buddy. You know what I do for that? I go to the Google machine and I type in NBA player salaries. I wish I could share my screen with you guys. Anyway, I go to Basketball Reference and I go down here and I scroll down till I see guys who make about 11. I'm going to read out to you the names, Nowitzki. Guys who could fit into the Mavs traded player exception. You ready? Devontae Graham, Zion Williamson, Larry Nance Jr., Jeremy Lamb, Rashawn Holmes. Huh? Rashawn Holmes, he fits into your traded player exception, and he could be on the block. You excited about that? Holmes. So let's see. Dwight Powell. Okay, so here's the deal. Dwight Powell and Rashawn Holmes don't exactly fit together. But by the way, if I was making a Mavs trade video, Rashawn Holmes would be included. Just saying. Just think about it, right? Kristaps Porzingis could share the floor with Holmes, maybe. Reggie Jackson, Cade Cunningham, Danny Green, Satoransky, Kyle Anderson, Serge Ibaka, Jay Crowder, Montrezl Harrell, Tristan Derek Favors. Okay, the names suck after that. But Rashawn Holmes, there's your answer. That's actually pretty cool. PG-13 for us. You're funny. Who's a more established playoff team, Suns or Warriors? Warriors. If we look up the definition of the word established. Oh, Heat Check. What up, dog? Dog, I love your new set, Stefan. You know that? Did you see that I commented on your set video? And I also love your videos, by the way. It always makes me smarter to watch a Heat Check video. So you should all go watch. Bradley Beal will undergo season-ending surgery. Kevin O'Connor tweeted out something that got me thinking. Beal may have played his last game for the Wizards. What do you think, Casey? Absolutely, Stefan. I think that Bradley Beal has not signed his 5-year Supermax extension for a reason. Bradley Beal is wondering what Bradley Beal should do. And if he signs it, sure, he can be traded. But if you trade that giant contract, it will weaken whatever next team he goes to, even though it would help the Wizards. He could be, that loyal guy saying, hey, Wizards, I'm going to sign this so I can become an asset for you so that when you can trade me and get something back for me, right? No. He's saying, no, if I'm going somewhere, I want to win. I don't want to weaken that team. So he's not going to sign it until he sees how the year plays out. And honestly, the year is not playing out well, obviously. The Wizards suck. And Spencer Dinwiddie is not what we thought. Their best player this year has been Kyle Kuzma, which says a lot. And so, I think if Bradley Beal stays, it would just be for the money. And right now, he is not signing it, meaning he is not prioritizing the money. So, yes, I agree with Kevin O'Connor. I think Bradley Beal has played his last game as a Wizard. And it wasn't a very good game. He hasn't been playing well at all. All right, what else we got here? That was exciting. Thanks, buddy. Lol, we should collab. Hell yeah. This is great. Dude, what's going on with this live today? You're like one of my favorite channels. Of course we should collab. I'm going to either DM you. I don't know what I'm going to do. It's going to be something. Will Streaker said something to me. That's great. Posting this until you reply. There was a report that the Raptors are trying to trade Dragic in a first for Turner. That would be amazing. My friend Shane says, hell yeah. I'm with you, buddy. What is the best player that can help the Nets? Dude, honestly, we would have to go all through that, and it would be really tough because it's not an obvious player. Hey, Casey, do you think the Pistons should trade Jeremy Grant to like a lottery team like the Rockets or the Magic for a 2022 first to get a player like Paolo Banchero? No, Paul, because a team like the Rockets or the Magic aren't going to trade their 2022 first for a win now player. The Rockets and Magic aren't trying to win now. No, sir. I'm sorry. Posting this until you reply. 10th time. Thoughts on the Hawks and Trey and WHTS trades will the Hawks do? I don't know what that means. I already kind of covered this. I think that the Hawks' best trade would be to deal John Collins for Marcus Smart in a first-round pick and maybe someone else. Hey, Casey, I love your vids. I hope you hit 150K for the trade deadline. Thank you. Should the Celtics be buyers or just get something for Schroeder and stand pat? Albert, I believe they're just going to get something for Schroeder and stand pat. Vanilla Ice plus a conservative Republican equals Casey. How am I a conservative Republican? What can the Lakers do to become better? Trade THT and Kendrick Nunn for... I'm going to look around here. Trade THT and Kendrick Nunn for. I'm not seeing any good names. I'm looking down this list of guys that they could trade for. Nope. It's really tough. What can they do? Nothing. They are in trouble. They're in trouble. I'm looking around, dude. I don't see anybody. I don't see anyone who's good. So nothing. They're done. Can I get a shout out, please? Says Static. There's your shout out. What about Buddy Hield? Yes. Good idea. THT. How much does Buddy make? I don't even know if that works. Assets the Nuggets should target. No one. Just get healthy. I'm a huge Kings fan. I'm so hyped for this trade. All right, we got to go. I've been doing this for 35 minutes. We got to collab from heat check out of it. This has been a great day in AM Hoops history. I am going to somehow contact Mr. Stefan. I don't know how I'm going to do that. You guys are awesome. Very grateful for all of you. What is Denny Avia's ceiling? Well, he has really been, very good on defense this year. Offense is limited. What is his ceiling? Do you mean like a player comp? Denny Avia's ceiling, I'm going to go with his ceiling is Kyle Kuzma. I'm sorry. I know that's not the answer you wanted. All right, guys. Appreciate it. Later.